Well, this one went to free frames, and Pete Crow-Armstrong putting the squad on his back. However, it would not be enough. With that said, come on in to Cubs Postgame Live, and it was Ivan Herrera. Ivan the Terrible getting after it in this one right here. That one finding some outfield grass, a pair of runs score, and just like that, the St. Louis Cardinals, they avoid a third straight defeat at the hands of the Chicago Cubs. There it is, your final in 10 innings. Game 3 of this series goes in favor of the Redbirds. The Cubs tomorrow will have to look for the gentleman's sweep. That's right, taking 3 out of 4. Will it be in the cards? No pun intended. We'll let you know. We're also going to fire things up because we are on the air. This is Cubs Postgame Live, presented by Yuengling Flight, the next generation of light beer. Cole Wright, Elise Menaker, taking diligent notes. And Elise, this was a tough one. There's really no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking over that 10th again, the bottom of the 10th, because, I mean, honestly, when Pete hits that, you're like, okay. I mean, you know, that was the second hit of the game that Pete had, leaves the park, 2 runs then, right, just like that. Not enough, though, in the end.
Yeah, like we said, I had those notes for the win, and I put the losing notes in the trash receptacle right there, and I said, hold on a second, maybe I reacted a little too early. Let's go back and revisit that 10th frame, because this is when things just spiraled out of control with the Manfred man on second, Lars Nootbaar. That's a quality at bat. Put the ball in play.
Yeah, Nico tries to make a good effort, but it was the control for Trent Thornton where he struggled. There were a couple of curveballs in the dirt to Nootbaar, who was pinch hitting. Weatherholt, the fastball couldn't be located. This is a nice play here by Bregman, so you get Walker. It's a tough play. You're thinking, all right, you're getting out there, first and second, and then just a hanger. So it's too bad because you, especially with this defense in these times, you're always thinking if you just get a ball on the ground, you can get 2 outs.
Absolutely.
You're good to go. But something like this is just going to hurt you.
And that ground ball to third base and Alex Bregman, Jordan Walker, he couldn't have rolled that one or tossed it in even better, could he?
Yeah, so all in all, I mean, you're getting what you need. It was just some pitches from Trent Thornton. He had 16 on the day, 8 were strikes. So he was throwing about half strike. Honestly, watching it, it felt like he was throwing less strikes even than that, just because the location, you know, it was off. You saw the hanger to Herrera, who had the game-winning hit, and that's where the bats can get you. I mean, you know, you have the Manfred man, both teams do, in the extras, but when your command is off and then you put some balls in play like that and not in the places where the defense can make the plays. I mean, this is a good effort from Nico.
Absolutely.
Just overshoots it. And so you're thinking to yourself, all right, you have first and second. Again, if you get a ground ball, then you could have 2 outs. Then you get a walk. You're thinking for Walker to get this ground ball, you'll take that.
Sure.
And then you'd like to think that you can get Herrera, but he attacks.
Ambush. That's
it's
what,
a cutter
that's what he was doing.
It doesn't. He needs to miss more of the zone with a pitch like that. And because he's ready to go, you know, you got runners on. As a hitter, you're ready to drive that.
You have to be looking fastball because in your mind, if you're Herrera, you're thinking, well, Trent Thornton, he's been scuffling just a little bit. There's traffic on. All he wants to do right now is throw a strike. He threw a strike and Herrera made him pay.
And that's because when he was missing, the misses were, you know, a little obvious. I mentioned a couple in the dirt to Nootbaar, the fastball to Weatherholt wasn't really located well. And then so when you see one over the plate, especially when you have an opportunity to win this game, Herrera sees it and he drives it. So, you know, Trent has been really good late in the game. He has had save opportunities. He has come through. This is the first time actually he hasn't come through this season. This is not really meant to be his role. All that being said, you know, it's tough because of everything this pen and the staff has been through. You know, we're just going through the 10th and highlighting like Trent didn't make some pitches, but Matthew Boyd, what a day.
Sparkling.
That, you know, Webb, Thielbar. Sometimes it happens. Guys like Trent go out there and it's just not their day.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to ask, how discouraging is it for a guy like Trent Thornton who is looking to nail down his 5th career save? He's been so good recently, but tonight it just wasn't in the cards.
Yeah, and I'm sure, like, you know, he goes out there because now that he's had a few of these opportunities, he's thinking, like, this is my time. And he's talked about it. I remember it was in Cincinnati. I'm talking to him and asking questions about it. I think it was, you know, the 9th in that case, but say in extras, same situation. And, you know, he kind of, you tunnel vision. That's what he described it. You hear the crowd, and then when it's time to execute, you don't even hear anything. Like, he's describing how at these moments as a pitcher, like, you thrive and you live for them. And then it was just a day where, you know, the Cardinals took advantage and couldn't make some key pitches. So that's why you got big league hitters, big league pitchers, and the big league hitters won tonight.
That's right. Trent Thornton not able to channel his inner Billy Chappell and clear that mechanism tonight. However, he'll be back out there ready to accept any assignment that is thrown his way from Counsell. But in the meantime, let's go with our lottery fast play of the day, presented by the Illinois Lottery. Download the app right now to start playing from your device. And who are we going with? We're going with the tastemaker, the dude who was busting heads down to the white meat. That's right, Pete Crow-Armstrong making it a 2-0 lead in Elise. We thought we were going to have a winning postgame installment.
Honestly, I don't know what's better, the hit or his reaction. I mean,
Gamer's gonna game.
This is what makes baseball great. Say what you want, but I love this. I mean, this is a huge situation, Cubs-Cards rivalry. We know how he hears it from the fans, and he knows it off the bat, and he lets everyone know.
And how about a 109.1 for that 24th long ball of the season, and 63 stakes, Sam Block. Well, he's hitting nails on heads. PCA doesn't care if you like him, doesn't care if you root for him, doesn't care if you believe in him. He is going to rake. That's right. You can doubt him if you want to, but like Dame Lillard once said, life isn't always peaches and cream, but someone has to pay for the reason that it's not. And Pete Crow-Armstrong, he goes out there and makes the opposition pay through the nose every time he's in that box.
The way he's swinging it right now, like that's a pitch where it's down, he goes and gets it, he drives it. You know, when he's swinging, there is intention and there's conviction. I think as he has worked out the plate discipline and the pitch selection, he feels really good when he is putting a swing on the ball that he can do damage with it, because that's the goal. When you try to hone in on your zone, the point being when you swing, it should be a pitch that you can drive. Pete's been doing that more often than not. So far, he's been quiet in this series, has a big swing in this game, and that's why, as an opposing pitcher, good luck pitching to him, because at any point he can do this.
Yeah, we talked about it during Cubs Live. This Cubs offense, is it undervalued? Sometimes, and some would say that it is, but if there's one dude who strikes fear in the heart of pitching staffs all around the league, and maybe even some dudes in the KBO and in the NPB, it's Pete Crow-Armstrong, no doubt about it.
Because whether it's the hit, whether now it's the walk, just any way that he can find to get on base, because then if he's on base now as a pitcher, you're still worried about him. You think the plate appearance is over, think again, because now you're looking at him on first, and what's he going to do there? And so that's the chaos that he can cause. It's tough to pitch to him because I never really thought, when he talked about, I want to, be better at the pitches that I swing at. I know I can hit them out of the zone, but that's maybe not as sustainable. So he's talking about that in spring, and I just never thought this could be the version that we get at this point, and how good it could be and how much it could mean for his plate appearances in this team.
That pitch selection from Pete Crow-Armstrong, it's beginning to go through the roof, and that selectivity, well, it's death by 1,000 cuts, and that home run we saw today, that's like a paper cut or right behind the ear, but it wasn't enough for the fellas to go out there and get after it. But that 10th, boy, oh boy, was it fun. Craig knows that.
Yeah, I mean, that's, extra inning baseball. It's a little different with that runner on base. Everything gets amplified a little bit, and we obviously had a big swing. They hit a ground ball that just kind of hit in the right spot that started off an inning, and they had a pitch in the gap. So we didn't do anything for 9 innings essentially offensively. They had a couple more rallies but didn't do much either. That was a good game, and they had some big at bats in the 10th.
What do you think of what Boyd gave you?
Yeah, he pitched great. I mean, the first 4 innings was kind of just a clinic. Efficient, early swings, pop-ups, nothing. And then he had to make some big pitches kind of the last 3 innings, and he did.
Seems like every start he just kind of keeps going on the ascent. Is it kind of what he was like last year? What he was all
Yeah, he could stay here. That'd be fine. Yeah, this would be good. We can level off right here, and I'd be pretty happy. But I think he's pitching well. I think we talked about he just has to get into the season a little bit as coming back off the IL, and I think he really has, and he's really pitching at a high level.
That may be somewhat of an understatement, because Matthew Boyd is going out there. It's like Thanksgiving dinner. He's absolutely carving. We saw him once again tonight, 7 innings, 89 pitches. And the one thing that really jumps off the page, it's the foul balls, at least 21 of them. That means that the Cardinals, they thought they were on him, but they weren't really on him.
And just 4 hits. Yeah. And so this was a pitcher's duel.
It was.
He was efficient, throwing strikes, really just attacking the strike zone. So if we start with the innings first through 4.
Okay.
All right. Jordan Walker, guess he's striking out. On the changeup, he had 4 whiffs on the changeup, 5 total on the day, so not a ton of whiffs. He can get some chase on that changeup as well. Then Blaze Jordan, he also gets him on the changeup. Nathan Church, he's just trying to start off the third, put something in play, but with this defense, really nice from Pedro Ramírez over there because we saw Nico going later in the game. Now in the 5th, this is where he starts to lose control. You see the hit by pitch, he has the walk to Pedro Paz. You're talking about 9 in the order, and so Tommy Hotovy, well-timed mound visits. JJ Weatherholt, this was a really tough at bat. He saw 10 pitches, he fouled off 5, and then in the end, he gets the ground ball exactly what he needs. Jordan Walker then leads this one off, big swing of the bat. You can expect this from him, but then the way Matthew Boyd again works through it, gets Mason Wynn swinging again on that changeup. Walk to Fermin. How about a mound visit? Well timed, well played, Tommy Hotovy. And then you get Blaze Jordan pop up. Because again, if this is in the park, this defense, they can go and get it. So 5th, 6th, works through the jams, and he stays in there in the 7th and again gets Weatherholt the ground ball. So especially when you're playing a stretch of 17 games, to leave Matthew Boyd in there, trust him in the 7th, that's exactly what you needed. You see even then in this game, you go the extra, so how important to get the length from him. And how about this? So the 1st through 3rd, 25 pitches, 21 strikes. 84% of the time he's throwing strikes. On the day, you're almost at a 70% clip. So you want to talk about someone attacking the zone. We can talk about whiffs and chase and all that, but if you're throwing strikes and just trusting the defense behind you and letting them work and trusting your stuff really, because that's what he's doing. He worked the edges. Even then if he had it, I saw like over the plate, they're not really driving it. They're missing it, they're fouling off, and then he's finishing it off. That's Matthew Boyd. So really nicely done from Matthew Boyd.
What does it tell you about Craig's confidence in Matthew Boyd, the way he's going right now, that he sent him back out there to just chew up a few more frames?
Yeah, in a way I was kind of surprised. And then I'm thinking, all right, they have 17 games in a row, because it feels like a situation. Now, you'd 8-9, right?
Sure.
It's when you get back to the top to JJ Weatherholt, Jordan Walker, then you're thinking, would he take him out then? Yeah, but he did shut down Weatherholt the entire game. And when you had the traffic earlier, wasn't hit that hard. The average exit velocity actually for Matthew Boyd in this game was 78.7. He only had 4 hard hit balls, so they weren't, when they were putting in play, wasn't that hard hit when he was giving up the hits. So that does tell you something, that yes, maybe some of the damage, some of the traffic was his own doing, the hit by pitch, the walks, yeah, self-induced. But working his way out of it, he's really becoming a master at that. He doesn't let it get to him.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. Matthew Boyd, Houdini-esque, just like Javier
that's what
Assad.
you think
He
of
can
too,
get in a
right?
milk carton and wiggle his way out of it, or a milk crate, either way. But you know he's going to be good when his back is against the wall. The same goes for the other guy we talked about. And how about this dude right here, PCA, NL MVP, oh, Superman. He wears PCA pajamas. Pete, though, he's not sleeping very well tonight or soundly, because a loss, you know that's going to stick with him. We're going